That glass of red wine you're drinking for your heart health? Yeah, we need to talk about that. Because here's the thing nobody wants to admit. You've been lied to. For decades, we've been fed this comforting story about moderate drinking being good for you. Your doctor probably nodded along. Your health-conscious friend definitely quoted some study about Mediterranean diets. And wine companies? They're basically printing those headlines on their bottles at this point. But what if I told you the actual research says something completely different? And more importantly, what if knowing the truth could change how you think about that nightly drink? Look, I get it. Nobody wants to be told their coping mechanism is a problem. It's 7 p.m., you've survived another day of emails and existential dread, and that beer or glass of wine feels like the period at the end of a very long sentence. I'm not here to judge you or ruin your fun. I'm here to give you the information everyone else is too scared to say out loud. So here's what actually happens when we talk about healthy amounts of alcohol. There isn't one. I know, I can already hear the comments section firing up, but stick with me because this gets interesting. For years, studies showed that moderate drinkers lived longer than both heavy drinkers and people who didn't drink at all. This created the famous J-shaped curve, where a little alcohol looked protective and none looked almost as bad as too much. Researchers called it the French paradox. Wine companies called it marketing gold. But here's where it gets messy. Those non-drinkers in the studies, they weren't just people who preferred sparkling water. Many of them quit drinking because they were already sick. We were comparing healthy people who drink moderately to people who stopped drinking because their liver was staging a protest. Of course, the sick people had worse outcomes. We were basically comparing apples to already rotten apples. When researchers corrected for this and studied only lifetime non-drinkers versus moderate drinkers, that protective effect vanished like your motivation on a Monday morning. Recent studies from 2022 and 2023 found that any amount of alcohol increases your risk of certain cancers, cardiovascular issues, and about 60 other conditions that sound like rejected metal band names. The World Health Organization came out in 2023 and said it plainly. No level of alcohol consumption is safe for health. Zero. None. The optimal amount for your body is the same as the optimal amount of cigarette smoke, which is to say your body would prefer you didn't. Now, before you close this video and go day drinking out of spite, let me clarify something crucial. Risk isn't destiny. Having one drink doesn't mean you're signing up for disaster. What it means is that alcohol is a toxin, and your body treats it like one. Every time you drink, your liver has to work overtime, converting that toxin into something less harmful. Sometimes that process damages your DNA. Sometimes that damaged DNA leads to cancer. But not always, not immediately, and not inevitably. Think of it like driving without a seatbelt. Most trips you'll be fine. The risk on any single journey is small, but that doesn't mean it's smart, and it definitely doesn't mean it's healthy. Here's what the science actually supports. If you currently don't drink, don't start for health reasons. There are 0 health benefits that can't be found better elsewhere. Want heart health? Exercise. Want to relax? Literally anything else works without the liver damage. If you do drink, less is genuinely better. The research shows that going from 2 drinks a day to 1 reduces your risk. Going from 1 to none reduces it even more. But also, and this is important, living your life in a constant state of optimization anxiety isn't healthy either. If that Friday night beer with friends brings you joy and connection, that has value too. Life is about trade-offs, not perfection. The standard guidelines suggest no more than 1 drink per day for women and 2 for men, but those limits were never about what's healthy, they're about what's less harmful. They're damage control, not health advice. So what's the move here? Know what you're actually doing. If you drink, you're making a trade-off between enjoyment and risk. Own that decision with full information.
Don't pretend your nightly wine is medicine. Don't convince yourself it's helping when it's not. Just be honest about what it is. Something you enjoy despite the risks, not because of imaginary benefits. And if you're someone who feels like you need alcohol to relax or have fun, that's worth examining. Not in a judgmental way, but in a curious way. Because there's a difference between enjoying a drink and depending on one. The healthiest amount of alcohol? 0. But the healthiest life? That's the one where you make informed choices that align with your actual values, not the ones sold to you by studies funded by beverage companies. If this made you rethink your relationship with drinking, you'll probably want to watch the next video on why everyone's obsessed with being productive.